7-page paper for stupid geography. I wish we go back to high school, but at the same time, it's super stressful and annoying.
Yeah, I have my big projects that are due tomorrow. I'm going to be up all night working on them.
Same here. I hate this professor that loves giving us unnecessary work, but not enough time to finish it.
Man, high schoolers have it so easy, plus they're annoying. They don't even have a lot to worry about, unlike us.
Honestly, do you guys think high school was stressful for you guys?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was,
Yes.
yeah.
No. We were all high school students once. We remember the struggles we went through, and now we wonder how we got through it with it. We should all be more considerate of the younger high school generation. We should all be more trying to balance in high school, and responsibilities are only getting harder to handle as time goes on.
We have all graduated from high school and continue to go on to college, while having other responsibilities to take care of. Most of us have been taking on these responsibilities since high school. High school students in today's society are faced with challenges that we are unaware of, and they do not get enough credit.
So today we will tell you about the struggles high school students are faced with and why we should be more sympathetic towards them. So first we will discuss how balancing work and school is not an easy task to handle.
On the website Mental Health America, they mentioned that schools administrators recommend that students daily work 10 to 15 hours per week for full-timer students, but the average high school tends to work about 20 to 25 hours per week. Working those hours can affect you really bad, behind school, falling behind schoolwork, missing school events. And now I'm gonna give you an example, an experience back in the day when I was a junior year, I think. Back when it was close to homecoming, I used to work like 7 days a week, 7 days, and it was so much stressful, but I really wanted to enjoy homecoming, right? So I ended up cutting off like a few days, but the stress and tension inside me was so great because I had like all this homework and I was cutting off work. So it was like, oh, will I get fired? Will I not get fired? Will I still have my job? So it was really stressful, you know.
Right. Well, even if it is more like 20 to 25 hours, that doesn't sound bad at all, because at the end of the day, having some income at that age is nonetheless more optional in most cases, and you don't have much pressure like college students.
So I understand what you're saying, but I remember back in high school we had 7 to 8 classes in a day for long hours, and it was 5 days a week, not just two days, 3 days, depending on however you choose your classes for college. So we did a survey to the class and on December 3rd, and 4 of us started work at the age of 15, 6 of us at the age of 16, 2 at 17, and 5 at the age of 18. So from this survey, we saw that most of us have started working when we were still high schoolers and have been working since. So from my experience, I started working my freshman year, and I did miss a lot of school activities because I had work right after school. There would be times that I would have to be doing my homework like in my breaks, but I wouldn't really complete the homework well because I was kind of rushed into finishing it, or sometimes I would go home and I would have to stay up late doing homework, and then I would have to wake up early to go back to school in the morning. So I didn't really get to enjoy high school because work and the responsibilities that I had to take care of. And I started working because I had bills to pay to help out my parents and my personal stuff.
And then for the picture over here, so people usually say that you either choose to either a social life or get good grades, but you don't get enough sleep, or enough sleep and then good grades but you don't have a social life, vice versa. But the reality of this is that we have a lot of stuff to take care of, like friends, love life, extracurricular activities, homework, and family. But we usually tend to try to do all those things, and it just ends up causing you to be stressed at the end of the day, and you just don't end up actually even completing any of the tests that you were aiming to accomplish.
Next, we will discuss how stress is affecting these high schoolers.
So stress is a very powerful thing that I think we all experience, so it can affect us mentally and physically. So if you look at the graph, you can see kind of what high schoolers are stressed out from. And there's many different things from homework to their own appearance, mental funny thing too is like it seems like females are even more stressed out than males throughout that time. It's kind of funny. So going back to like my own experience, I started working right when I turned 15 because my uncle owned a fast food restaurant. So he kind of just like slid me through, so I didn't have to really fill out any paperwork, no work permit. So I started working like 30 hours a week, and I also played travel soccer at the same time, which is really like hard to do because you practice 3 days a week and then you have like a game on the weekends as well. So school was kind of put on the back burner, and I really didn't. It wasn't a necessity at that time, and I became really stressed out. According to NBC.com, access December 3rd, 2018, the agency's stress and the American survey found 30% of teens reported feeling sad or depressed because of stress, and 31% felt overwhelmed. Another 36 said that the stress makes them tired, and 23 skipped meals because of stress. So the survey is kind of alarming because it represents the stress that a lot of like young people are going through. So I believe that the youth should not be like under this much stress because they only have 4 years like of high school, and like looking at it now, like I'm in college and I feel like I feel less stressed out than I was in high school, which is funny because I'm taking less classes, and it's just like really crazy because it's like to me high school is like a blur. Like I don't remember anything of it. I just remember like college and being like more relaxed now. So I think like these 4 years that they go through, it's like really special, and these kids should have like an opportunity to like enjoy it instead of being stressed out.
Although stress levels are rising, I don't think that it's a huge problem. According to an article published on berkeleynews.edu, accessed on November 4th, 2018, you always think about stress as a really bad thing, but it's not. Some amounts of stress is good to push you just to the level of optimal alertness, behavioral, and cognitive performance.
You know what, Herman? That's actually a really good point. But stress affects everything from your body to your mind and your behavior. The more stress, the more it will impact your everyday life in a negative way rather than a positive one. And it breaks, you can see right here how it breaks down your stress. Your brain, it causes depression, and then it could develop anxiety. Then that can continue to panic attacks. Your heart also rises in blood and pressure and risk of heart attack. Your lungs, strength breathing, and possible asthma attacks if you suffer from asthma too. And then your stomach, you get a lot of stomach pains. Also, you just don't have the energy when obviously your stomach hurts and then you don't eat. And then your bones, frequent muscle and joint spans. So it affects your body. Well, stress affects you a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. And then from the website maintained in Mayo Clinic, they state on April 28, 2016, stress symptoms may be affecting your health, even though you might not be realizing it. You may think illness is to blame for that nagging headache you have, your frequent insomnia, or your decreased productivity at work. But stress may actually be the cause of that. And this was accessed December 4th, 2018.
Well, after all those points, now I think we should start being more considerate of what these high schoolers have to deal with, rather than bashing them all the time. Because whether they're balancing a high-hour job in school at the same time, or an average-hour job, the opportunities offered for these high schoolers becoming more possible, and they're putting those things are putting them in an environment where it's constant pressure and responsibilities. So next time you see a high schooler looking dumb and naive, think about these few points we made here today before you make an opinion on